Right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to show you how some different LED pars and different LED lights work. We've looked at the basic par can. Today we're going to show you some different LEDs, and these are some out of my collection that you would get anywhere at a hire shop. I'm going to point the camera down for a minute and show you what's inside a LED par. You've seen inside a normal par can. Now, a LED par is not a lot different. Basically, as you can see, the casings is like a stubby size, and if we take the cover off and look inside, there's a transformer, there's some electrical components, and then those wires lead obviously to the LED panels in the front. Now, this light is what they would call 181 1-watt LEDs. So there's 180 little LEDs in there. There's about 60 of each of red, green and blue. So when you turn the light on, depending on how you set your DMX address up, you either get red, green or blue lights coming out of this little fixture. We'll put it back together later on. The light, as you can see, is in automatic mode. I've hired it from the hire shop. They said it's in automatic mode, and I've got to think, how am I going to get it to work? If it's come with a manual, you're right. If you don't have a manual, it's a bit of a different story. So I've got my little lighting desk set up here. It's a different one than what you've used at TAFE, but it still works fine. Out of our desk we've got a data lead. I'm going to plug the data lead into the back of the light. Okay, so now what we're going to do in the back of the light is 4 buttons on this one. Now, I said last week, some of the lights have got a dip switch addressment and some have got buttons. This one, as you can see, it's got buttons. So if I push the menu button, the address will change. At the moment, it's in a fade mode. So this will be freestanding as a LED. As you can see, the colours constantly change from one colour to another. It's very nice. It's easy if you just want a bit of light on a stage or band without having to get crazy. But we want to control it from our lighting desk. So using the buttons, we'll go to menu. We'll find a function. We don't want to get out of that. We'll go. Some of you have a problem. We'll go to flash mode. We don't want that. We don't want BL would be for blue, GL for green level, R for red level. We want to address because we want to address this light. At the moment, it's set to address number 65. So that was probably the last person who had it on a hire show. We don't want it on number 65. To make it easy today, we'll run on channel 1 in our dimmer. So it's very simple. We address, we change the numbers. This is really, some of these you hold the button down and it runs automatically. This one, you have to push them all the way down. Just hope someone does it, set it like channel 400 and you're on channel 1. It'll be a long time to get there. Eventually we're going to get down to channel number, whoops, doing some things, but that's okay. We get down to channel number 1's where we want it. We go okay, enter, it flashes, happy days. Now, we keep the camera on the wall. Now I'll go to my lighting control desk over here for a minute. It's got different selections on it. Or something have some colours happening. Without a manual, this can be a bit tricky to work out. But the way this light works, channel number 1 on this light is actually a dimmer, a red channel. You see red comes up. Channel number 3 is green. Channel number 4 is blue. Reverse this thing. And then channel 5 on this one doesn't do anything. And then channel 6. So this basically, we've got some changing lights there. That's what they were called macros. But basically this light is a 4-channel light. So again, looking at the, come over here, Rubes. You can sort of look at the sliders at the same time as the wall if you can do it. So channel 1 is like a master dim. Channel 2 is a red. Channel 3 is green. And add it with the red to different colours. Channel 4 is a blue. Again, you different colour combinations, and channel 1 is my master dim. So again, this light can have 3 different colours together. You get the 3 of them together, you get a sort of a white. And that's how this light works. So it takes 4 channels. Sometimes you might find channels 5 and 6 do other strange things. And we're going to show you one of those other lights doing that in a minute. So we've got another light over here. This is another very small LED par can, as you can see. It's more used for like entrusts or something else like that. Compared to the size of my hand, it's pretty small, but it can be nice if you've got a little small area to light. The reason I'm showing you this one today, you actually can see and there's a red glow. That's because it's getting data, and there's a little LED light inside saying it's got data, which is fantastic. Now you notice on the back of this one, it has dip switches. And again, I'm going to show you how to set this up for data. So we're going to run data out of the light next to it. We won't go into before we change our mind, because I'm allowed to change my mind. So data would come out. Again, it's just like a microphone lead, but the DMX lead's different to a mic lead. Don't try to mix the two in a PA. You get all sorts of grief if you did that. So the light here is here. Now this is light, you've got all the different dip switches here. The other unit had obviously buttons. Now these are all 1 to 10. To make this light work, I'm going to address it to channel number 1, make it simple. and because I know this fixture, it needs also dip switch number 10 on as well to work. Again, I'm just using a small screwdriver sort of thing to set these dip switches. You could change it to any other number you need, depending on where it was addressed on your lighting disc. So that light is addressed to channel number 1. So again, I'll go back to my lighting control unit. And channel number 1 for me does nothing, obviously. 2 makes red work. And again, channel number 1 is the dimmer overall in this unit. The 2 is red, 3 is the green, 4 is the blue, very similar to the other one before. However, on this unit, we have a strobing function. So if I was to, and I can strobe in any colour I want. At the moment, I'm strobing in green, or I can strobe in blue, or I can strobe in, pick a nice other colour as well. So the unit will strobe. I can adjust the speed of the strobe by having that slider up or down. If the bulb's too faster, we'll get us the faster strobing effect, which will give us all epilepsy if we leave it too long. So that little unit creates a nice little light, again, but it's controlled by the screwdriver to activate the dip switches, and some of the older fixtures have that. Now the other one I want to show you up here is another little LED fixture, similar to the other one, but again, notice the size of the LED bulbs. The little bulbs on this one were very small before. These were 1/2 watt on this unit. Now the light on this end is actually 3 watt bulbs. Now I'm showing this because the light bulbs and the LEDs have all got different sizes, and therefore the amount of light coming out of them will change. As I showed you before, the big one before on the ground had 181 1 watt LEDs. This has got 12 3 watt LEDs. So you've got to do the maths again to work out how much light these lights would produce out and how much current they would draw. So let's power this little sucker up. I'll pause for tick rooms.
And they've been moved like 8 minutes.
No, that's okay. Okay, so again, this unit is a LED unit, and again, it's got LED buttons on the back of it to make it do its thing. It's flashing all sorts of weird things at the moment. It's got an automatic mode, which it could be in there, A for automatic. Again, the address is upside down, so if you can read upside down, it's really easy. I'm not going to change the camera around, but we want to find this to get it to, it's got red, it's got green, it's got flash, it's got sound activation, red, green and blue. We want to find A for address, it's got strobing. That's actually D001, which would be upside down on this light, dim 001. So let's go select that one. Okay, and again, I go back to my little lighting control desk. If I was to bring up channel number 1, guess what, not much happens, but bring up number 2, I've got, as you can see, I've got too many lights going at once. Going out of the way. Bring up my channel there, you've got the red light, and it dims as well. Channel 3 becomes a green, channel 4 is blue, and again this one has actually got white LEDs in it as well. The others had red, green and blue. Now this fixture, if I can sort of, I'll bring them up a little bit and turn them towards the camera, but it won't blind the camera. Okay, so this is, we right?
Yeah.
Good, okay, so this is a light again. Channel 1 is my master, channel 2 is red, 3 is green, 4 is a blue colour, and then I can actually add the colour of a white. So I was going to show you this before by turning the light around. So there's all our lights, and if I spin this around carefully, you can see that different components of this light are lit up. Red, green, blue and white. So we can get a lot more colours out of this light than just red, green, blue combinations. We can make it pale and softer. That's okay. We'll put it back against the wall for a minute, because what this light has also got in it is of course what they call a macros feature. If I bring this macros feature up, it will give me a colour of a light I want. So if I want a sort of a rough green or green, it's depending on the percentage on channel number 6 what it's going to do. It also has what they have cross fades in it. So this light has inbuilt fades. I can say do little soft fades, away it goes, as it's doing there. This light can also do its strobing too as well. So the cross fades and the macros features in this light aren't bad if you want to get some effects just changing like that. Just set the right channel on the desk. Again, you'll need to know what light works what channel on the manual for this fixture, or you'll be all over the shop. Good? Okay, okay, so this fixture here is actually an outdoor LED fixture, one of mine. I've got a few of these. It's weatherproof, but I love using it around a drum kit, would you believe, because it's brilliant. What it actually has is got 12 LEDs in it, red, green and blue in different combinations. These are all 10 watt LEDs. So the amount of light coming out of this one is 120 watts of LED light. So when she's going, she's nice and bright. Again, it's the maths. The little ones over here have 181 1 watt bulbs. The little one I just showed you before had 12 12 3-watt bulbs. Well, this sucker has got 12 10-watt bulbs, nice and bright. And we'll show you what it does in a tick. Let me just power it up for you. So basically, all that works. Some power into it. And at the moment, it's in automatic mode because when it came back from the hire shop last hire, guess what? It was in automatic mode. So we're going to get some data into it. Now, as you saw, if you looked at it when I held it up, you go, where are the buttons? Now, this unit has a remote control to make it work. So again, you need to know the manual, need to know how to make it do its thing, and by pressing buttons on the remote control, the light will now work. Just turn it down, and I'm going to address this light to make life easy to channel number 1. So the light's going to flash. I've got to address it by using the remote control, 001, away it goes. So we've plugged in that big square light. We've just got the data here. Now this light is a bit different to control than the other ones, where the other ones had channel 1 was our dimmer. On this light, channel 4 is the master dim. We have channel 1 is red, as you can see we've got a red light, channel 2 is green, channel 3 is a blue. Now what this unit does is really nice and bright light. If you ever want to look at the front of it, the camera. Got lovely colour saturation out of light because they're nice big LEDs. So they're 10-watt LEDs, nice and a lot of punch out of them, and so the white looks white. What this unit also does is have a lovely strobe feature. This is great around a band or something. You want to strobe a drummer in red or in blue, or like that's a magenta or something like that. You get all sorts of colour combinations. You imagine a pair of these around a drummer, one either side at the front of the traps or behind the traps. These going during a song, it just blows them away. Looks great. Very punchy strobe effect, very bright strobe effect. I've used these on a few shows. I've brought these lights of mine in myself, and the drummers and the rest of the band were blown away by how cool they were as a strobe around the drummer. And when they're doing those solos, it's great. A shootout. Now last week we did this shootout in the TAFE venue with a Par Can, just a standard Par Can. Today I'm going to shoot with the standard 300-watt Par Can 56 stubby and our LED Par fired up. So what we're going to do is put them both against the wall. Here we go. So we're going to power up this Par Can. So there's our 300-watt Par Can up against the wall, nice and toasty and bright. And if we fire up the Par light with it, at the moment with just a red, you can see it's oversaturated it. The LED can't compete with that sort of Par Can, but that's only one channel of LED on this. If we then add in the green and the blue, we have a different sort of light. You can see the white light on top of the yellow there of the LED, the Par Can. If I move the Par away, you can see the difference in the two. We have almost a white light from that LED Par versus the Par Can. So the Par Can is obviously a nice yellower light. The beam of both are very similar, but I think personally the Par Can is probably a bit brighter, but it doesn't have the colour variation that the LED Par Can. And obviously the power consumption of the Par Can is different to the LED Par. 300 watts of power consumption when this is going full tilt. Now this LED Par, as I said before, has got 181 1-watt LEDs. Now that doesn't mean there's 181 amounts of use of power it uses. Watts of power. It has a transformer in it, and believe it or not, this thing only uses about 40 to 50 watts of power. So if we were to use that maths, we could have 6 of these going, taking the same amount of power as one Par Can. Now all of a sudden you can see the difference in power usage. 6 of these would wash out that one Par Can, and then we'd also have them in green, blue, red, or any colour combination. So LED lights have come a long way. The joy of obviously LED lights as well is when they're finished with, you know, unplug them, put them in the road case, the back of the car, drive away, they're cool. These things have to cool down the Pars. They're too hot to touch, as you know, for a while. So they become a bit of a safety issue. And obviously the bulbs are a bit more sensitive in the normal Par Can as opposed to LED Par. We'll pause for a minute. If you like. And see me wherever you want to do. Okay, so to finish with this afternoon, in this little video, just a price comparison. So we have our normal Par Can of 56. What do you know about that? Again, they're about $60 to $70 to buy, but you get one colour. If you want to go to the LEDs, we have on this one the 4-colour LED, the RGB, red, green and blue, and W. You can get these on eBay for about $25 a piece. Not bad little unit. If we went to the bigger Par Can with all the LEDs in it, you can see those 181 watts. They are about 70 to 80 a piece. This sucker with the 12 10-watt LEDs, By the way, this only uses 80 watts of power. You're looking at 300 to 400 retail. This is also a weatherproof unit, which is made a bit dearer. The non-weatherproof ones aren't as dear. So not little bad toys for what you can get for your money. Got one more thing, straight out of the box, brand spanking new. Now I bought these the other day. These are a LED pin spot. Now you might think, what is a LED pin spot? Well, let me show you what it does. They even come with a manual, very handy to know how to read, and I have read the manual, which isn't huge, but it lets me know what channels do what on this light. So again, if I plug that in, some power, as you can see, the light is making a nice little round beam of light. It has again a manual on the back for addressing. I'm just going to find that data lead, Ruby, just pause for a tick. So I've got my data lead going in with this light. Again, I go back to the menu on the back. I don't want the colour, I need to work out what I need to address this to. I need my address, there's my data address 001. So address number 1, I'll address that and go okay. The light's gone off. But now I'll come back over to my lighting desk. And what we do is I've got this little LED pin spot, great little toy straight out of the box. I've got my manual here because I've had to read it, would you believe, even though I thought I had it read. Channel 1 on this has to be 100%, and then all of a sudden we get channel 2, we get a little beam of red light. Now to show you how effective this is, we'll put on the wall over there. So channel, that is our beam of red. We can add in the green, we can make it blue, or we can make it nice and white and bright. What this also can do, this unit can strobe, again, fast strobe depending on, or slow strobe depending on where I set it on the manual control here. And again can strobe in colour, or multiple of colours. And it's a very round, nice little beam of light, very long beam of light. And we put it on the ground, you get the ovular shape. You can sort of see it on the round. But nice little round beam of light, unlike most other LED pars you've got. A LED par will give you a wash. This little pin spot is a 30 watt LED. It's got what they call a 4-in-1 chip in it. So rather than with these other lights, we have multiple lights in them, red, green, blue and thing. This is what they call a 4-in-1 chip. So in this chip is a red, green, blue and white actual light to come out. It's a 30 watt LED and that's why it's nice and bright. Some of these you see are not 30 watts, they are 10 watt LEDs in 4 colours, so it's only 2.5 watts per LED. But this is a 30 watt, so it's not too bad, it's pretty bright. Great little function, little LED spot, little pin spot, could be good for a solo or something like that. Just another toy I've got to play with basically. So. And we're out of time, are we? No, so there we are, there's our LEDs today for the class, in all sorts of styles. Please have a listen to the video, ask me any questions. Thanks very much.